like, hey, she was hurt too. She was going through things. And it's not to make an excuse for anyone. Still love yourself, but don't allow anyone to mistreat you. Try and get them help. A lot of us need therapy. A lot of us need a village of people who can see that we have hurt in us and we need someone to talk to. A lot of us need to use this platform and just wake up and say, you know what, today my husband just beat me or my daughter this, or just tell what's going on. Share, tell your hurt, get out of it. Don't stay for the money. Don't worry about what your friends are going to say. Don't worry about what the church people are going to say.
Right.
You got to make a difference. And sometimes God just have you go through some things because he wants you to know he's going to be there. That man has never failed me. Amen. And I know not you and not you, even though we've been through things and we've hurt, but guess what? It has made us better. We are better from everything we've been through. We are. So I go so deep when it comes to the kids. And
but you said that, though. We needed that word.
It was beautiful. I go deep because you'll get so mixed up with reality and with just the social media. And it's so many people, y'all, I see foster kids, foster parents, husband and wives. People are getting abused every second. Right now, they're being abused.
Yes. And even now with the pandemic,
it's even worse.
The statistics is even worse. Now that people are, can you imagine for a second? Your husband was mean, beating the kids, beating you, but your haven was work. You went to work every day.
Every
the kids
day.
went to school every day. So now you both are working from home.
Absolutely.
And everything is making you upset. You know, and so the abuse rates, the domestic violence rates are like up by like 600%.
Oh my God. Yes.
People are dealing with a lot right now.
Yeah, get help.
And what you said is so important, Marlo. If you are going through that, you have to seek help. And let me tell you something. To your point, Marlo, we have a sexual assault hotline as well.
Okay.
And that is 1-800-656-4673. And people need to know that just because it's your husband or your spouse does not mean it's not sexual assault.
And Erica, can I say something too? I had a show that I was doing on Instagram right at the beginning of COVID. It was called Bossed Up Survivors.
Okay.
And what I was doing, I was talking to different people that survived sexual abuse and sexual assault as well. And there was a lot of men that had reached out to me, and they were saying that they had went through a lot of sexual abuse and sexual assault as kids, but they were afraid to talk about it because the way that people in society would look at them. And a lot of them were saying that they were sexually assaulted by babysitters, siblings, teachers, even women in the church that were sexually assaulting them. And because they were boys, if they did say something to like an uncle or something, it was more of a thing like, oh, are you a man now? You know, it was just, that's how it was brushed under the rug. And so one of the guys I talked to said that it was hard for him to have a relationship with women of color because that's what he experienced. And I think that's something that we need to really talk about too, how a lot of men have dealt with sexual assault
and sexual abuse. Come out with them.
And that's probably part of the reason why a lot of marriages fail. You know, relationships are not lasting, and it also affects the way that they raise their sons themselves.
Well, we want to answer, and yeah, it's a lot. People don't understand it's a cycle.
It is a lot.
They were abused, and so that's why they're abusing. Marlo, we have some questions from the audience, I guess we could call it.
Yes, my phone froze up with my questions.
Okay, so I'll ask the questions and you can answer them. So this question, someone said, would it be wrong to track down your abuser for your healing process?
Well, me personally, I definitely feel it would not be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel if you can track them down, if you can point them out, if they're in the house, if they're in the family, point them out, track them down. Because guess what? If they did it to you, they're doing it to someone else. You know, I get long-winded, but I'm going to make it short. I have a girlfriend right now around 50 years old. And to this day, she told me she finally went to her grandfather. And she said, I know what you did to me as a child. And I know. And she said she just had to tell him. She said she had to tell him. Like, I know what she's went to him. It was like a couple of years ago, but she went to him and told him. And I feel sometimes if you know him, because it's happening in the house, in families, and it's quiet. It's an elephant in the room.
And they're probably doing something to other kids around.
Absolutely.
So you could be helping another. You could be helping another child.
Absolutely. So absolutely track him down if you need it to heal. And if you don't need it to heal, I still say track him down so you can save another child's life.
Mm-hmm. Part of my healing process, because the woman who did what she did to us is deceased, was my therapist had me to go to her gravesite.
Oh, and tell her how you felt. And
her gravesite, I told her how I felt. I was angry. I yelled. I let it all out. So
that was it. And you forgive and you keep it moving.
Yeah. I think it's very important. I had to do the same thing. I won't say who the person is, but it was a family member, and I had to say this to them because, to be honest, this family member was still so mean and still so nasty to me, even though they were the one that abused me. Can you imagine? Every time we talk on the phone, they got something mean to say. Oh, you going on TV today? Oh, we must be nice. One of those type of people.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm still allowing you to be in my life, and I'm forgiving you, and you're treating me like this. So it's one thing to track that person down, and sometimes we forgive, and we may allow the person back in our life. But just like Teresa said, you have to set those boundaries. You have to. Because you can forgive, but you'll never forget.
Right.
Never.
I got another question. It says, how do you become a foster parent?
Well, now, I don't know for sure if I know all the rules. You have the paperwork.
Yeah, I got it.
I know definitely the main thing you have to do is contact DFACS, your local DFACS. They're going to have you take classes. They're going to do a background check. They're going to come out and do an analysis of your home. I don't think you can be a convicted felon. It's certain things. I know it changed.
Yeah, it's a list of different things. You are correct, Marlo. It's a list of different things. But the first thing you do, just like Marlo said, was contact your local DFACS. So if you live in Cobb County, you contact Cobb County DFACS.
And they'll give you
County, and they will walk you through the steps. There's so many foster parents needed.
Yeah.
And
it's a little lengthy, but don't give up on it. They're going to ask your whole life story now.
Yeah. They're going to come to your house. They're going to inspect your house.
Yes.
They're going to do a lot. But there's so many. And as you can see, that's why we do this show. Because we want people to become foster parents.
Yeah.
And
good foster parents. Good ones. We want good
foster parents. We want good foster parents. We want people to become foster parents so that these stories, like what Teresa told today, not only did she go through something at her original family before she was taken out, but then when she got into foster care,
went through the
same thing, just as much, maybe worse. And so we want people to step up. If you have the means, if you have an extra room, and you are a great person,
make a difference.
Please. And what we will do, I know that, we have staff that is watching this. We will put out the steps. Since that's something that people are asking, we will put the steps out on our story. So look for those soon, because we do want to get people, and there's a lot of great agencies as well. There are some foster care agencies that place children just like DFACS would as well, if you want to go through a private agency.